Hello, this is video 34, and my goal, we'll see if I can make it, is to go from 0 to Python in 20 minutes or less. So, open your browser of choice on your computer of choice, be it a Mac or a PC, either one, and go to python.org. And there you shall find all you could ever want to know about Python, including cool stuff like documentation and so forth. If you want to get ahead of the game, you can go through Beginner's Guide and Developer's Guide and all these things and get way ahead of the class and find out all you need to know about Python programming, or you could just wait and see the YouTube videos. We are here for downloads. So for downloads, I'm going to click on downloads, and it should show you the latest release. And I think it does this regardless of whether you're on a Windows machine or a Mac. It'll show you the one for your system. And just click on the big yellow button, whatever it may be, and save it wherever it may save. Downloads is good enough. One moment, please. Okay, and then I go to show in folder. This is on a PC, by the way. And now that I've got that open, I want to make sure I've got all the resources at my disposal. So I'm going to close out my browser, close out Google, and now I can focus just on this. I just now installed Chrome because I was getting sick of Edge. So here we go. Double click on Python 3.8.5 for Windows, and custom installation. I don't know if I want to do that. Can I just click on install now? I think I can. And yes, make all the changes you want. Make all the changes you want. And go. It was waiting for me to say go. It's artificially intelligent. Oh boy, here it comes, here it comes. All the stuff. We're ready. Any day now. Okay. 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 What? There's the online tutorial. You could go through that if you wanted to. Look at the documentation. Special thanks to Mark Hammond. I don't know. Close. And close. And Python should be here somewhere. We might have to search for it, but when you do your search, don't search for Python. I think we want to search for idle, I-D-L-E, and there it is. Idle, remember, is more than just Python. Python is just the compiler, or it might even be just the runtime, which executes the executable code. But idle is the whole shebang. That's our IDE. I'm double-clicking on idle and waiting. Even though this is a new computer, it's not very fast. I am waiting. Maybe I got to click open. And there we are. There are two windows here. Maybe because I clicked on it twice. Let's see. I want that. Now this is kind of cryptic. Python is a bare bones system, meaning it doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles, but it does let you, here would be where the output is shown if I had a Python program. Unfortunately for me, I do not yet have a Python program. Even though I am in idle, the IDE, I need to go up here to File and New File, make a new file, and look at this. This, even though it looks very similar to this thing over here, it ain't. This is the editor. And when I start typing in stuff, what am I going to type in? A comment. I know we haven't looked at very much Python yet. Whoa, that is tiny, isn't it? Let me see if I can change this first. No, I don't want to do that. No, options, configure idle. I want bigger stuff. So I'm going to go to 12. That should do. Apply. Now it's bigger stuff. Now it shows up even if the video is small. And there are all kinds of stuff you can set here. Highlighting and colors and all that stuff. But I'm going to put that this is going to be file. And what's the name of this going to be? This is going to be fun fact. Fun fact. .py. All of our Python programs will have extension .py. That tells your operating system, be it Mac, be it Windows on a PC, that this is a Python program. Just like .txt says it's a text program, .doc says it's a Word document. So get used to always naming your files .py. And let me see, what am I going to do? I'm going to put that I am R. England. Spell my name correctly. I'm a horrible typist, by the way, if you haven't figured that out yet. Funfact.py, R. England. We're at Transy. Well, virtually we're at Transy U. And who are we? We are CS 1124, comma, fall 2020. And I'm even going to put module 2. Mulberry 2. Module 2. That was painful, but you survived it. And then a blank line. Now, why do I put that up there? This is called a header block of comments. Once you print this out in your vast catalog of Python programs that you've written, you're not going to know which goes with which file. And look at this. I know what name of the file to look for on disk. I know who I am and where I was at the time and what was going on. This is CS 1124, fall module 2020, and then down below I'll indent a little bit. Notice I left a blank line. That's optional, but I did that to make it look a little more professional and polished rather than cramped. And anytime you put a pound sign, so far we haven't typed in any Python at all. I can hear you screaming, well, what about the def main thing? That's on the way, hold your horses. But all this stuff with pound signs, these are comments, also known as documentation. And in this class, they are not optional. Repeat, comments are not optional. Let's print a fun fact. Why not? Now then, all of that was just to get us going. Now, you'll notice up here it says untitled. I'm uncomfortable with that. So before we even type in stuff, I'm going to go to File, Save As, and browse around. I don't want to put it here. I want to put it in my special custom-made 1124 folder. And you know what? I've even got to make a new folder for this. I want this to be in a special custom-made Python Python programs. I strongly recommend you do that. Even if you don't have a special folder for this class, I strongly recommend you have a special folder for your Python programs because we're going to do several. It's just going to be so handy to track them down and find them instantly if you've got them all together. So now that I've got it, I'm going to open it, and I made a name I forgot already, funfact.py. And look down here, it's telling you that it's going to know that it's a Python program if it's .py or .pyw. I'm going to run an experiment. I'm just going to type in funfact and see if it puts a py there for me. Let's see. Well, we didn't see. Let me try it again. File, save as, and look at that. It went ahead and put the .py there. Isn't that intelligent? Even though it's bare bones, I'll cancel, it's already been saved. This editor, and look, up here now it also tells me. Now watch, you keep your eyes on this when I type the word. No, I'm just gonna hit the enter key. Now watch this up here, funfact.py. Oh look, it put a star in front. That's not a gold star, that doesn't mean that I'm excellent, even though I might be, but that's not what's that's not what it's trying to indicate to me. Listen carefully, we know about hardware. It's trying to tell me what you currently have in memory does not match what you have on disk. Whenever you see that star, that means that all this work that you just now did hitting the enter key, that has not been saved. But if I go to File, Save, there's probably a hotkey for that. Control S, I'll do that. Control S, boom, disappeared. Now, this is exactly the same as it looks on disk until I start typing again, and here I go. DEF main parentheses colon. Why did I type that? Because every Python program has to start with that. Remember, and then press enter. And what am I going to do? I'm going to print colon fun fact colon close parentheses, and there's one print line, and look, it's still indenting. I'm still inside the main program. You know what? I just want to print that one line for right now. So I enter again. It thinks I'm still inside the main program, but I'm going to hit backspace so I can get back over here to the first line and type in main parentheses without any colon. That should be a complete Python program. Let's see. I'll go to the old-fashioned way, File, Save, or I could have hit Control S, and then I go to Run, and what we want to do, it's a little bit cryptic, but Run Module. It thinks that our source code file is a module, so I'm going to click Run Module. Look at this. Oh, it worked. It told me where the file was. That's quite a path to get there. Yours is probably not going to be that bad. But look at this. It printed it out. It's a little ugly, but it's there. It's there. Now I can just click back over here, and you know what? I want to change this. I want to change what the output is, so there's a little more to it. But to do that, I have to always go back to the source code. And to start good habits early, I'm even going to put a comment on this line. Print a fun fact to the screen. Because that's what I'm doing in the next few lines. And the habit here is every few lines, I would say if you've got half a page without any comments at all, then you've been typing too much code. Every few lines you put a comment that says this is what the section of the program is doing. The top is a summary of everything about the entire file. So print a fun fact, that's talking about the entire program. This, even though it says about the same thing, this is talking about just the next few lines. What's my fun fact? Well, you know what? Since that's ugly, you can uncramp it a little bit. If you do a print, I had to tab over because since I'm going on rogue here, it didn't know that I was still inside the main program. But I can just do print with empty parentheses. What does that do? Whenever you get that question in mind, what does that do? Do this. File, save, run module. And there's a hotkey for that too. You can hit F5 instead of using the hotkeys. I'm going to continue to use the menus because you can't see what key I'm picking at the keyboard. So I'm going to say run module. Look how this looks different. Experiment resolved. The first one up here just printed fun fact all cramped together with all the system stuff it was trying to tell me. And this one printed a blank line first. What happens if I press enter now? And that's what I'm going to do and press enter. It just leaves some blank lines. Why do I want to know that? Well, because this was getting kind of cramped up here already. All this stuff is trying to tell me. I could make the window bigger, but that's not going to uncramp it very much. It's doing wraparound. Now then, it says fun fact, and let's put a fun fact out there for crying out loud and be done with it. How about print? Here's my fun fact. You could look one up on Wikipedia. You could even make one up. I'm not going to fact check you. You could invent a fun fact. The Norwegian, Norwegian, word for poison, Poison, is the same as, that's going to be ugly. It's going to be a line that's too long, so I'm going to quit the string right there. Double quote, parentheses, and do a separate print statement so it prints together on two lines. The Norwegian word for poison is the same as the word for married. Fun fact. And then I'll put a print afterward. And I got at least one blank line down here. I don't know. Is it going to work if there are two blank lines? How can I find out? Oh, woe is me. Let me go to save. Let me go to run and see if it makes any difference at all. Run module. Look at this. Fun fact. The Norwegian word for poison is the same as the word for married. And no, it didn't make any difference. That blank line right there is because of coming back to the editor. This is called the runtime window. It's like a sandbox. It shows you what your program does when you run it so that you can experiment back and forth. How easy it is to click back and forth. Now that I know that that blank line doesn't matter, I'll just get rid of it. It's not serving any purpose. The Norwegian word for poison is the same as the word for married. And I'm going to space it over a little bit to make it look even prettier. If I want spaces to print on the screen, all I got to do is put them inside what's called a string. This is a quoted string. I think I mentioned strings briefly. I might even indent this line a little more. How professional looking is that? Now then, the string, the Norwegian word for string. No. A string in Python and in most computer languages is just a bunch of characters that you pick inside double quotes. You're saying, print this to the screen verbatim. Don't try to do any calculations or anything. Just put it out the way I told you. And that's what it's doing with these three lines. It's just putting it out the way we told it. What else is there to say about this? Oh, yes. How do I know I'm not in plain old Notepad? Well, that's easy, isn't it? Look at this. The editor knows. The editor knows the Python language. It knows that def has a special meaning. It colored that orange. Main has a special meaning. That's blue. The comments are their own special color. Quoted strings are green. All of that stuff is because the editor is keeping an eye on us and trying to help us make sure that we got all this stuff put together right. Oh no, I forgot my closing quote. Oh, that shouldn't matter. File, save, and run. Oh no! EOL, is that the end of the world? No, it's just the end of the line. It said end of line while scanning string literal. That is a little cryptic. There is an art to understanding Python messages. This is the editor trying to tell us something. The editor combined with the compiler as it was trying to translate this to machine language. It ran into the end of the line, which went to the next line. That's EOL. EOL is end of line. It ran into the end of the line while it was looking for the end of a string literal. It saw the begin. Okay. It saw the beginning, but it didn't see the end. So I need to put my double quote back in there. Now, fixed and fixed, and we don't need main anymore. File, save, and let's run it again just to make sure I fixed it. Run module. And I see the name of the program, and I see the path it takes to get there, but I don't see my fun Norwegian fact. Oh, it put this in its mind, okay, they want me to do these things, and then it just sat there. We want it not only to put these things in its mind where it can see it up close and handy to the CPU, we want it to actually do it. So it's like a mother may I step down here. Here's all the stuff. Okay, now you've seen all the stuff, now go do it. So that main down at the bottom, that is not optional. And all these things I'm messing up on purpose, I actually recommend that you do that so that you're sort of controlling your errors. Let me save this, see if I can save and talk at the same time. If you have controlled errors, then it does things like, you know, that EOL statement we saw. Now, the next time we see that error, we know what to look for in our program. You see how that works out? If you control the errors by doing bad stuff on purpose and see what kind of error you get, then you're prepared for that the next time. Now I'm going to leave it alone. That's a nice little multicolored program, and I think I saved it. Yes, I did. There's no star. So what's on disk now matches what's in memory, and what's on disk is what it's going to run when I say run it. Run the module like the wind. And there it is. Fun fact, the Norwegian word for poison is the same as the word for married. And done, and done, and we're done. And I didn't put the auto shortcut on the desktop, so I got to type it in again. You could always type it in again. IDEL, there it is. Click, open. Let me see if it'll give me the recent. Open Sesame. Oh, I don't want to go back there. Let's go surf over. I was hoping that it would open the Python's program directory, but it did not. Fun fact. But there it is. And now I can work on it again. I can put more fun facts if I want to. I don't think I want to. I don't even know what else to demonstrate. That is 0 to Python in maybe approximately 20 minutes. Maybe I got a little bit of time to spare. Let me show you something. Show you something. Let's do Norwegian English. R. I lived in Norway for 2 years, by the way. And I thought that was a funny fact when I was there. Let's do married. M-A-R-R-I-E-D. Oh, that's backwards. Married's not a Norwegian word. Get out of here. In English, we call it married. In Norwegian, we call it gift. They pronounce the G like a Y. They don't have a G sound. Married is gift. Okay, we're not happily married. So let's poison them. P-O-I-S-O-N. Gift. We're going to gift them. See how funny that works? Haha. Joke for the day. Now I am completely done, and all I have to do is figure out how to stop this crazy thing. Here it is. See you online.